This man was shivering from the freezing cold. But instead of wrapping himself tighter in his clothes, he took them all off. This was in terrifying -30-degree temperatures. The merciless wind left his face twisted in agony. He could only keep breathing into his palms to relieve the bone-chilling cold that was driving him crazy. But even so, he had no intention of putting his clothes back on. It turned out he had accidentally fallen into the ice-cold lake. This was the only way to dry his clothes. But after a whole night, his clothes still weren't dry. Finally, at this moment, he exploded. He started cursing furiously. He thought he was going to freeze to death. Just then, he spotted a house on the mountain peak across from him. This instantly gave the man hope. He jumped up with joy. So he packed up his belongings and headed toward the mountaintop with anticipation. But as time went by, he was still far from the cabin, and his vision gradually became blurry. Deep hunger swept through his entire body. Before long, the man collapsed from exhaustion. Even more terrifying, a vicious wolf had its eyes on him. After going through tremendous hardships, the man finally reached the mountaintop. However, when he looked up, he discovered there was no house there at all. It was just a hallucination. The man fell into deep despair. He frantically beat his snowboard to release the rage in his heart. A long time later, the man calmed down. He decided to keep heading toward the mountain peak. After who knows how long, sharp pain shot through his legs. The man realized his socks had frozen to his skin. The man realized he couldn't delay any longer. Then, he grabbed his socks, both feet together, and pulled down hard. Intense pain instantly spread through his entire body. The man passed out from the pain. Meanwhile, his mother finally noticed something was wrong. So she brought a rescue team to the forest. The rescue helicopter flew right over the man's head. Unfortunately, at that moment, he happened to be deep in the dense forest. Watching the helicopter about to fly away, he struggled to move forward. By the time he finally made it out of the forest, the helicopter was long gone. He fell into complete despair. Then, he collapsed helplessly in the freezing snow. In a daze, the man seemed to see his mother. Thinking of his mother, his will to fight reignited. He continued heading toward the mountains. He finally climbed to the mountaintop. He slowly pulled out his radio. But the radio still had no signal. Worse yet, the battery was down to 4%. The man was completely desperate. He gave up the struggle, holding the radio one last time. Then, he took one last look at the snowy mountain and slowly closed his eyes. However, what he didn't know was, at the last moment before the radio died, the signal finally went through. Shortly after, the rescue team followed the signal and reached the man at the mountaintop. Trapped in the snowy mountains for 8 full days, the man was finally rescued.